We squared them to kill the negatives. Is 253.5. What's n?
Total number of variables.
And of course, what is it? 8. So 8 minus 1.
7.
So I want 253.5 minus. Oh, sorry, minus. Divided by 7. Right, and minus 1. So there's my variance. 36.214, blah, blah, blah. Now here's what's going to save you. I don't know if I've shown you this yet or not, but the little answer button right here, little A and S, that's temporary memory. It's the last number on the screen. Because what do I want to do with that number now? Do I have my standard deviation yet?
No.
I've got the squared standard deviation, right? The variance thing. I want to square root this. So I want to square root second squared. You get the square root. The last number on the screen. Yours is not probably going to look like mine. This is so cool. They finally updated this. The brand new TI-84s actually extend the square root symbol. The older ones open up a little parenthesis. So if you have a little parenthesis, you're fine. Don't worry. I didn't realize they had upgraded these. Only a math geek like me would be excited about that, but I am. Do you guys see that? Answer key is kick-ass cool in this class because very often you're going to do something and you're going to do something else with that. So A and S, the answer key, is the last number on the screen.
How would you like us to know that? Or you don't want us to know that?
Say again?
How would you like us to know that? You go 3.
Oh yeah, does anybody remember what I said about standard deviation? You go out at least?
3.
Do not forget that. You go out at least 3 places. Trust me when I say I will take points off for rounding too little. If you go further out, that's fine. Maybe not 18. But you have to go at least 3 places. So right here, 6.018. Round. Don't just cut. Round. The next number is an 8. You've got to make the 7 go up to 8. So what does this really mean about these numbers then, about these grades? That's how far these numbers are from the average, on average, right? That's an average distance from the center. So it does give me a measure of spread. Okay. So let me show you 2 things. And this is where I lose some of you guys' faith, but that's too bad for me. Hopefully you understand there's a purpose behind this. I really don't like when teachers only show calculator methods. Push this button, the number comes out. You don't learn anything that way. So here I'm going to show you how the calculator spits the answer out at you. Go to Calc. See, we always go into Edit, but hit the arrow over to Calc. That first one looks very enticing because I only have one variable here, right? Quiz grades. So one variable statistics, hit enter. You guys see that? One variable stats, one variable statistics. Has everybody got that up there?
Mm-hmm.
Let me do it again. So let me hit clear a couple times. Let me just get a nice clear screen. Go to stat, hit the over arrow to calc. So hit the stat button, hit over to get to calc, and then the first option, one variable statistics. Now you can tell it's second L1, but it defaults to L1. And again, this is all on your calculator Bible, right? So you can tell it L1 or you can just hit enter. Can you tell me, what do you see that agrees with what we found? What's the very first number up there? That's the average. That's exactly what we found, right? The next number, 2 numbers are kind of cool. What's the next number down? The sum of these. The next number down is the sum of the squares of these. In case you need it, there's several formulas that need those. Why does it give me both of those? What are those 2 at the bottom before the n is 8? What are those 2? Why am I doing that? What are these 2? There we go. Yeah, this one is the standard deviation for a sample. This one's for a. Why do you think it gives me both?
Because it's n minus 1 or over n.
Okay, there's a difference between the 2, but why does it give me both? Because the calculator has no idea if it's a population or a sample. It just gives you both. You pick the right one. So be careful. You pick the right one. Okay, cool. So real quick, and again, just to kind of kill some time, not kill some time, but not kill too much time. Clear all this out. Let's try to, let me get, see if you guys can do this. Let's put that, here's the other set of data, okay? Here's the set of data for the last 8 people. So put this into list 1 now. Alright, so there's the last 8 people, right? Already you can see some differences. It definitely goes lower, it doesn't go as high. It's not saying anything bad at all, it could be just random happenstance. But if I made a larger study across a lot of different classes, it'd be very interesting if I always got a lower average for my last people than my first people. It might show some kind of preferential treatment earlier in school, right? That might affect somebody's learning. That's always interested me because I'm one of the W's. You A's might not care. Let's see. So just like I said, I don't want to waste too much time on this, but you could then go ahead and make L2 equal to L1 minus the mean. You have to first find the mean, right? You could go find the mean through the list, second stat to get to list. So let's cut right to the chase. If I go to stat, calc, 1var stats, it'll give me everything I need. Now what jumps out at you? We already knew one thing. The very first number, how does it relate to what I got for these guys? So X bar first and X bar last. X bar first was 87.75, X bar last is 85.25. Why is that not enough? If I just told you these, can somebody tell me why that's not enough to prove that all the last people will have a lower average than all the first people? That's not even enough to prove that that's true for this course across all your tests, right? Why is it not enough to show that these are different enough?
Bigger sample.
Okay, one thing is maybe the sample's too small. I definitely agree the sample's only 8, so it's a pretty small sample, right? That sample size will come in mathematically, but there's a more direct answer to that question. What's the standard deviation for these guys? That's one we just found, right? 6.018. What's the standard deviation for these guys? Oops, sorry. 7.363. So standard deviation tells me how spread out they are on average. This one has a lower average, but their data points are more spread out, right? So don't they kind of overlap then? Are these means far enough apart to show me statistically significant difference? No. They kind of overlap already, don't they? So later in this course, you're going to get much more detailed about that to really make a whole test to show, well, how far apart do they have to be to show significant difference? To show that I've seen evidence that there's a difference between people with a last name in the A's, people with last name in the W's and Z's, right? Okay. We can actually do a whole test later. I'm hoping you guys see that even though this average is less, the variation, the standard deviation is more. So it actually allows for more overlap. All right. So I want to refer back to this data as we get further into chapter 3 today. So I'm going to keep this up here. Let me see. I'm going to turn this guy off here. just kind of give you a hint. If I would have gotten like an average for one was 90,
Right.
and standard deviation was 5, and the average for another one was 80, and the standard deviation was 4. Do you see how that might be evidence that there's a difference? Because on average, these go down to like 85, right? To 95. Do you guys see what I'm saying? Because again, what's the standard deviation? What does it mean? The average distance from the mean. So 85 to 95. This goes up to 84 down to 76. Do they overlap? No. So again, that's too simplistic, really. We're going to get more detailed, a lot more detailed information about this, but that kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking at. The mean by itself is not enough. I need to know the spread to tell how far apart things are. This helps me tell distance in statistics, how far apart things are. Without it, I have no idea. Okay. And this goes really well into the next thing here, the last part of section 3.3, which gets a little bit strange. Just writing down this person's name makes it seem like it's going to be strange.